Savor each bite. If there was anything I was going to tell you about the new hot stuff in the field of nutrition, it is the brain-gut connection. We are learning so much more about the interplay of hormones between our stomach and our brain. And guess what? When we're eating in the car and we're eating standing up, or we're eating grading papers, or we're eating in front of the TV or computer, our stomach is getting the food and the calories, but our brain isn't. And there's some really interesting research, not only to indicate that we will eat as much as a third more calories when our mind is distracted, but the latest new information is we may actually utilize those calories differently than if we were actually paying attention and connected to what we're eating. We'll all admit it. In this society, we've become pretty disassociated with sitting at a table and tasting our food, right? But that is what we need to do to get that brain-gut connection going. So, you know, it's hard. You're standing up often, holding a drink. How are you going to actually think about what I'm eating and know if I've had enough to be satisfied? Only you can decide if you've had enough to be satisfied. So make your selections, sit down, taste your food, enjoy it. Ask yourself the all-important question, do I like it? How does it taste? How much do I need of this to be satisfied? You'll find really funny things happen. They did one study recently where they had people sit down with a bag of potato chips and eat them like they normally do. How are potato chips eaten? Fast. You watch people eat potato chips, crunch, crunch down, crunch, crunch down. All of a sudden they're reaching in and lo and behold, the bag's gone, right? But instead had them put the chip on their tongue and let it melt and taste it. And the funniest thing came out of that. People really didn't like the taste of chips that way. They really like that crunch, get it down quick. But when you actually taste all that fat and salt, it's a little bit offensive. So really actually reconnect with your food. Sit at a table, sit mindfully, get yourself away, give yourself that 10 to 15, 20 minutes that it takes to eat, and separate yourself away from your work. You'll be much more productive later anyway. Don't eat in front of the TV at night. Sit at the table, put relaxing music on. Instead of coming home and saying, I'm going to get this meal over with and in the dishwasher so that I can relax, and then you get to the chair to relax and you think, what did I eat? Because we're so disconnected with it. So sitting at the table, relaxing, enjoying it, get the sense that you've actually eaten something and it's something that you enjoy. And set an intention not to go back for seconds. You're going to do that, pass by, be selective, and say to yourself, I'm going to take what I feel like I need to right now, sit down and enjoy it, and I'm going to try not to go back. And if I go back, it's just for more vegetables, because you just can't eat enough of those, right? Those will never add up to any calories of substance. Moderation is the key to any successful plan that reduces calories or weight loss. I've seen many, many people lose weight just by eliminating the high-fat foods and then just eating a little bit less every day. But the trick to that is you have to know what you're eating now to know what a little bit less is. So pay attention to what you're eating. Often these celebrations seem like they focus around food, but they are really celebrations to get people together, right? Either we're getting together with family or friends or coworkers, and the focus doesn't really always have to be about food. It's always going to be there because when people are together to be in company with each other, it is a natural inclination to bring food. We break bread together. But you don't have to have the focus on the food with your family and friends. You can do things like change the environment, go for a walk. You're still with your friends. Maybe play some board games or family games instead of just continually eating and watching TV. Get away from it. Do some arts and crafts with kids or with each other. Enjoy the fresh, natural foods that aren't processed. Again, I'm going to come back to fiber as a key to health. Eat more slowly. It's an interesting proposition. Next time you go out to eat, just take a glance around at how quickly people eat our food. And I think in our society, we're encouraged to eat quickly to turn that table over. But you know what? We don't have to. We can actually sit at the table and put our fork down between bites and enjoy the company at the table. What are some other tips you can think of to eat more slowly? Have a sip of water in between, something like that. To actually think about chewing our food to somewhat liquid, that's a very difficult thing to do. If you're not used to it, try and chew the first few bites 10 or 20 times. It'll drive you crazy. Or I know people that have said, well, I'm determined not to be the first one to pick up my fork. I always know that Susie X over there, she's really thin and never gains any weight during the holidays. How does she manage it? I'm not going to eat until she does. You might be surprised. It could drive you crazy because you're sitting there thinking, go ahead and pick up that fork already, ready to eat. Take it slow. Don't hide the flavors of our natural foods in high-fat sauces. We've stepped away from eating a lot of vegetables, and often they're drowned in what? What do we put a lot on? A lot of cheese on vegetables. Cheese is very high in fat. Foods that are high in fat are going to cause us to gain weight, without a doubt. The cheese consumption in America has more than quadrupled in the last 10 years. So we're eating a lot more cheese than our predecessors, than our grandmother or our parents did. And that is actually contributing to some of the weight gain in this country. If you like a creamy salad dressing and that's what you enjoy, just don't dump it on the salad. You know how it all ends up on one leaf? Keep it off to the side and dip your fork in and then spear your salad. You're still going to get that flavor, but you're also getting the flavor of the vegetables in the salad, and you're avoiding all those fat calories, which are really high. Savor the textures and subtleties of the food. I think that we all like crunch, right? Everybody wants some crunch at their meal. And in our society, crunch has become the crackers and the chips and all of those crunchy things, which some can be worked in. But what we're missing is the crunch of vegetables and fresh fruits. So often raw vegetables are foods that our kids and we enjoy. Have some raw vegetables. You know how whatever is brought out to the table we're going to eat more of? Because inherently we're all pretty lazy and we'd rather eat what's in front of us than go back out to the kitchen. So bring a plate of raw vegetables out if that's what you're trying to encourage. You'll be surprised. Even people that say they don't really like raw vegetables will eat them because they're there. Appreciate what's foods are good and what good they're doing for your body. We're really busy. We have higher needs nutritionally. Life's a little stressful. Eating really well makes you feel like you're doing something really good for yourself during the holidays. So that's kind of like how to avoid that high weight gain that usually occurs. Remember, it only takes an extra 10 calories a day or 100 calories a day to add up to 10 pounds in a year. So you're going to gain a pound with an extra 10 calories, which is nothing. Some of those little chocolate covered berries that we have are about 100 calories. So popping 2 or 3 extra of that in the day could be as much as 10 or 20 pounds in a year if you did it every day. So watching that extra fat, watching chocolate, which is about 70% fat. A little bit of chocolate goes a long way if you put it in your mouth and let it melt and you really enjoy it, as opposed to eating it pieces after pieces, right? Any comments or questions? What about the idea of eating at the table instead of the TV? Is that doable? We all have that dining room table, right? If we just clear it off.
Well, there's eating at the table and watching TV
There's eating at the table and watching TV too. So there's like, we're used to having that company. If we eat alone, especially that company of the TV. It's also a distraction. Hard habits to break. How long does it take to break a habit? 21 days, you got it. So habits are there that we need to break, but habits are also there that we can easily create. If for the next 21 days, you choose not to eat in front of the TV or have the TV off and eat at the table, by the 22nd day, it'll be as foreign to you to have the TV on while you're eating as anything you can imagine now. It's really easy to start a new habit. Take a bubble bath every night before you go to bed for 21 days, and then don't do it on that 22nd. You're like, where's my bubble bath? Mm-hmm. So we can do that with the foods we eat. It is not what we do on Thanksgiving Day. It is not what we do on Christmas Day that's affecting our health. It's what we do day in and day out. Do we skip breakfast? Do we eat some high fiber cereal or oatmeal or something whole grain that really gets our day started right with some fruit? Do we take our lunch or do we just pass by a fast food restaurant? It's those kind of day in and day out. At 3 o'clock when we hit that lull, what do we have available? Are we walking by a vending machine, or have we planned in the morning and have something healthy like a handful of nuts and an apple to take us through the rest of the day? Those are the biggies. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, well, thanks for letting me join you. I wish you all a very happy, healthy holiday time. It is a great time of joy, and we shouldn't miss it, and we should enjoy it with our family and friends. We just don't want to get on the scale January 1 and have that intention that we have to lose all those pounds we gained during the holidays, right? Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you.